Hey everybody, it's Adia and I'm here doing this look. It's like a full face foundation look using the Hourglass Vanish Stick foundation that recently came out. It's like we're about to go out for my brother's birthday, so I thought it'd be fun to go ahead and film like a full face look because I normally don't do that. Most of my looks are like super low key, glowy, natural look, but every once in a while a girl's got to go all out. So if you like this look and want to see how I got it, then keep on watching. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is prime my face. So I really like to use this Too Faced Hangover RX primer. I don't use this every day, but since this is going to be like a full face, like totally done up makeup look, I'm going to use a primer. I really like this primer because it's lightweight, but it just helps my foundation smooth on a lot better, and it does help my makeup last longer. Next thing I'm going to do is my brows. I'm going to use the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil in the shade 5. My brows are kind of like not behaving lately, but it's nothing that like some pencil can't fix. Then I'm going to use the Benefit Browtones just to hold my brows in place. I'm using the shade 4, which is like a light brown, but I just dusted on lightly so you can't really like see it that much on my brows. It can like lightly soften my brows. Alright, next I'm going to color correct. Again, this is not something that I do every single day, but for special occasions, I think it's totally worth it. I'm going to use the MAC Studio Conceal and Correct Duo, and I'm going to use the Burnt Coral shade. It looks worse before it looks better. And then I'm just going to blend it in with a damp beauty blender. Alright, next I'm going to use this new Hourglass Stick foundation. And I'm wearing the shade Warm Almond. If you follow me on Instagram, then you saw that I put it all over my face like the moment I got it just to test out the shade, because I actually had like a really hard time trying to pick shades online. And I initially had bought, I think, the Golden Almond, and it was too dark or like too orange and rich, and so I took it back in store and I got this Warm Almond shade, which I think is a much better match. I love this finish. I think it's awesome. Like, I'm so impressed with how this looks. And I'm just gonna add like a few stripes right now, just a little bit, because you can always add more. So yeah, I'm just gonna start with just a little tiny bit. So I normally use like a beauty blender for everything, but for stick foundations or cream foundations, I think a brush works better, and I love this IT Cosmetics brush right now. And whenever I'm using like a brush to blend in my foundation, I like to dampen it. And so I'm going to use this Boscia White Charcoal Mattifying Spray just to dampen the brush. This foundation is not like super glowy or anything like that, but I know that sometimes my skin can get shiny in the T-zone, so I like to just use this as a way to kind of reduce the sheen that can get on my face. I'm just gonna add a little bit more along my forehead. Alright, so as you can see, like the finish on this is awesome. Like I didn't really put a lot on, and that's how I like to put on foundation. I like to put a little bit on, blend it all the way, and then just go back where I need it so that it's not like a thick layer all over. There's just a little bit more coverage where I need it, but like otherwise as little coverage as possible. Now I'm going to add concealer, and I'm going to just use a little bit of the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Caramel. So I've been using this NARS concealer for like a minute now, at least a year, and I really want to try something new, but I don't know what to try. So if any of you guys have been using a new concealer that you really like, definitely let me know. I really appreciate it. And of course, I'm using a damp beauty blender. It works the best for me to blend in my concealer. Alright, now I'm going to set that with this MAC CC Prep and Prime powder, and I use the shade Neutralize. So I'm just going to apply this powder underneath my eyes with the same beauty blender. It's damp, and this is like technically called baking. I normally don't do this because sometimes it can dry out my under eyes, but it also sets my concealer and keeps it from like creasing a lot. And then I am going to set the rest of my face with the Ambient Light powder in the shade Dim Light. For eyes, I'm going to use the Tarte Cosmetics Tartelette in Bloom palette. First, I'm going to apply this shade Jet Setter in the crease. I'm using the Morphe E22 brush to put the color in my crease, and I'm focusing more on the outer corner, and then as the product kind of fades from the brush, then I'm like blending it into the inner corner of my eye. And then I'm going back with the M330 brush just to blend that color out. And then I'm going to go back with Firecracker for the lid. I'm using a MAC 252 brush to pack Firecracker onto my lid. I really like this brush for when I want to pack a color on the lid, especially if it's kind of like a shimmery color, because I feel like if I use a fluffy brush, the color doesn't come out as intensely. So that's what I'm doing here, just packing the color on. And then I'm going to go ahead and deepen the outer corner with this shade Leader. So I'm using the same Morphe E22 brush to just like pack Leader into the like outer third of my eye. I'm just like dabbing it directly onto my eye just so it's like in the right place. And I'm just going to use the shade Rebel to blend everything out. So I went back to that Morphe M330 brush to blend it out. For under eyes, I'm just going to put that same shimmery shade Firecracker on the inner corner. And then I'm going to blend it out with Leader and Rebel. I'm going to mix Leader and Rebel. That's these two shades right here. And I'm going to just use this brush just to kind of make sure there's no fallout. Next, I'm going to put on my mascara. I use the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara on the top, and on the bottom I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics Tightline mascara. I'm using the IT Cosmetics Tightline mascara. As you can see, the wand is super tiny, so it's perfect for the bottom lashes. For blush, I'm going to use this MAC kind of like plummy pink blush. It's called Hushabye. For blush, or to put on my blush, I use this Real Techniques blush brush, which is what I use probably like 90% of the time. Alright, and to highlight, I'm going to use this Anastasia Beverly Hills Illuminator in Riviera. It actually broke, so that's why I'm holding it like this, but it's kind of like a cool toned, like icy pink color. And then for my lip, I'm going to use this ColourPop Cosmetics Ultra Matte Lip in the shade Stingraye. It's no longer available, but it's like a mauve-y pink color. And then I'm going to finish it off with this Boscia Charcoal Mattifying Setting Spray. Alright, so that was my full face makeup look. A little bit different from what I normally have on my channel. I usually have like more low-key, glowy, natural looks. But since we're like moving into fall, I thought it'd be fun to play with a little bit of the like mauve tones and just like change it up. I hope you guys like this video and let me know if you'd like to see anything different. I really appreciate your feedback and I really appreciate you watching. So if you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.